Do you have anxiety about parent-teacher conferences? Or maybe you think they're an utter waste of time? Let's talk about parent-teacher conferences and our neurospicy kiddos. How can we get the most out of them? Welcome to the Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom podcast with Kira from Kira Brown Coaching. I'm a mom of neurospicy kids and a life coach. I'm here to share real tips and support to help you feel confident as a parent. I used to think that parent-teacher conferences were so you could hear how well your child was doing. I used to go in with my first two kiddos, and I would hear how great their grades were, how smart they were, how well behaved they were, and I would leave patting myself on the back saying, "Atta girl, you're doing it right, Mom. Great job." And then my two youngest, also my neurospicy kids, started school. And I started leaving parent-teacher conferences and going out into the car and crying. And I thought they were horrible, and I would get anxiety about going, and it was hard to go, and I didn't want to go, and all of the things. So let's talk about how we can improve those parent-teacher conferences, how we can make them better, how we can make them work for us. Our first takeaway is don't take it personally. My older two girls being really good at school had nothing to do with me. I don't know, maybe I passed on some smart DNA, but really it had nothing to do about me, and it said everything about them. And in fact, over time, I've decided that my second oldest girl, being so well behaved all the time was actually a detriment to her mental health. You heard me right. It wasn't good for her to be so well behaved all the time. Do you know why? Because she wasn't standing up for herself. She wasn't getting what she needed because she was just people pleasing. So it's not a report card on how mom is doing. Regardless of what is said in that meeting, it has nothing to do with how well you are or aren't parenting, which leads us to takeaway number 2. Decide ahead of time what you think about grades and standardized testing and behavior problems in the classroom. Decide ahead of time. Are grades really important? What do grades tell me? What does a standardized test score tell me? Do you know what I decided? Grades tell me how well they're turning in their homework, and standardized testing tells me how well they are doing compared to what they did the last time I came in. I don't care if they're below basic or in advanced or somewhere in between. I care how they did compared to the last time I saw a score. Because it's a temperature, it's a thermostat per se. It tells me how they're doing emotionally in the classroom, if they're learning in the classroom, or if something is too hard for them in the classroom. Not too hard academically, which may also be the point, but it tells me how they're handling the classroom. If they're able to continue learning, that tells me they're not using all of their energy masking for a teacher who is not allowing them to wiggle. If they're learning, it tells me they're getting the accommodations that they need so that they're able to learn, so that their brains can focus on what they need to learn. Okay, so deciding what grades mean to you. That's what they mean to me, but what do they mean to you? What does that standardized score mean? Is it really important that my child is top of the class? Or is it just that they're trying their best? What does this standard in our home? What do we want? Decide ahead of time so that you're not taken back if it's not what you think it is. Okay? Don't let society define that for you, because teachers will make you think that it's a big deal if they're behind. But maybe it's not a big deal, because maybe they've actually made a lot of growth from where they were last year. And so they're actually doing really amazing in class. Or maybe they are starting to fall behind again a little bit. Maybe they're not growing as much as they should, or as much as they have in the past. And that's a red flag to say there's something going on where my kid is using all of their energy to behave, to focus, to be around people socially. There's too much of something, and so they don't have the energy to learn as they should. Okay? Point number 3. Go into these parent-teacher conferences open-minded. I have gone to both. I have gone where I came out feeling like that went really well. I am so grateful that my child has a teacher that understands their diagnosis and is so willing to help. I'm so grateful for them. And I have come out of there wanting to cry, because I'm like, you guys are missing it. You're telling me they're the best behaved child you have. They're doing fantastic, and there's nothing showing any signs or symptoms of autism. And I want to scream, you're missing the whole point. They're masking, which means they're not doing okay. But I go in there open-minded. This might go really well. This might not go really well. Either way, I'm learning valuable information about how my child's doing in school, and we're going to go from there. Step number 4 to having a great parent-teacher conference. Ask questions. I know, you go in there and they have like 10 minutes scheduled for you. Use up all of those 10 minutes and maybe some of the next person's 10 minutes, because you are there to learn how your child is doing in school. And if you're listening to my podcast, I'm assuming you have a neurodivergent kiddo with autism or ADHD or maybe some other disability, struggle. So go prepared with some questions you have for your teacher. How are they doing socially? How are they doing behaviorally? How wiggly are they in their seat? Are they interrupting the class and causing disruptions? Are they handling transitions okay? Do they have friends at recess? Those are just some that I came up with off the top of my head. But think about the things that your child struggles with. And go in and ask them how they're doing with those things. And if they say they're doing fantastic, I don't see any problems, say, great, can I get some parenting lessons from you? Because these are things we see at home, and so they might pop into the classroom on occasion. Just be on the lookout. Or they might say, actually, I've noticed we don't speak very kindly to our friends, so we're working on being friendly. Okay, now we have a problem. Not necessarily a problem, but now we have something that we can work on solving, work on helping them with. We know where we need to spend our time and attention. And our 5th and final tip is have open communication with your teacher regularly. For me, we've done several things. We've done like Class Dojo. We've done, I'm trying to think what some of the other apps are that the teachers use. Now our district has an app, so we can message our teachers directly on the district app. You can email, you can make a phone call. But for me, I just send a little quick message. once every couple of weeks. How are we doing in class? This is what we're working on at home. 2 or 3 sentences. The teacher sends back her little paragraph about what's going on. It's been going great. Great. We're having trouble with this. Okay, we'll work on it at home too. Whatever. But if you have regular open communication, there's probably nothing in that parent-teacher conference that's going to surprise you. So let's go over those steps again. 1, don't take it personally, however it goes. It says nothing about your value as a parent or a person. Number 2, decide ahead of time how you feel about grades and standardized testing and how important they are to you. And I'm not saying that there's any right or wrong answer here. That's up to you. But decide ahead of time what you think. Don't let somebody else decide for you. Number 3, have an open mind about what you're going to find in this parent-teacher conference. Number 4, come prepared with a list of questions to ask your teacher so you can get more information than their little spiel. And number 5, communicate regularly with your teacher. If you can find out about a problem before parent-teacher conferences, it's a whole lot easier to address it than being blindsided in parent-teacher conferences. So, you've got this, Mama. You can do this parent-teacher conference. It's going to go great. It's just information. It's just data. And then we can take the data and plug it into the equation and come up with the answers that we need. Maybe the answer is school's going great. Fantastic. Maybe the answer is we need some more social support. We're going to contact a counselor about a social group. Maybe the data is, hey, we're struggling with some reading. We need to practice some more at home. Or we need to get an IEP. Or maybe we're so smart, we're bored and causing problems in class. Whatever the data is, then you can solve for it. But you can't solve for a problem that you don't have all the pieces to. So go to your parent-teacher conference, find all the puzzle pieces that you need, and then we can address things. You're doing better than you think you are, Mama. Keep up the good work. Thanks so much for listening to Autism Diagnosis to Confident Mom. If this episode helped you feel a little more seen or supported, please take a moment to like, follow, or subscribe to the podcast. And if you know another parent who needs to hear this, share it with them too. We're all in this together. You're doing better than you think, Mama. You've got this.